Guys, we have an urgent information coming out. Chuck demands gulpers put food stamps only bill to vote instead of reopening the gov. Once again, this is coming out from Senator Chuck. He is suggesting that the red put food stamps only bill to vote instead of reopening the gov. Now we did talk about this, and I mentioned this a few days ago that they were going to do something like this. You know, keep the gov shut down, but let the EBT and SNAP go through. All right, so I do believe they're going to come to some kind of agreement at the very last minute before that clock hit midnight on October 31st. So I do believe there's going to be some kind of agreement. Donald also mentioned something that November millions will receive their stuff. All right, so we're gonna see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. All right, so this is the video that's going around. Once again, the left, the Democrats, to introduce bill that would fund SNAP, Chuck says. Now, the senator, Mr. Chuck, said Wednesday that the blue would introduce a bill to fund SNAP benefits as a pause is set to begin November 1st amid the ongoing gov shutdown. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with this one here. And New York Post is putting out the information. All right, so let's see what's going on with this one. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, guys. Once again, Chuck challenged the right on Wednesday to vote on a bill that funds food stamp program while refusing to provide the votes necessary to reopen the gov in full. To keep SNAP funded act introduced by Senator Josh, Republican from Missouri, last week already has 10 GOP senators and the left, Mr. Peter of Vermont, as co-sponsors. But Senate Majority Leader John, Republican from San Diego, has resisted calls for smaller, separate spending bills after Chuck and his party voted 13 times to keep the gov shut down from October 1st. It says here just weeks ago, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief own U.S. Department of Agriculture confirmed in writing that contingency funds, about $6 billion in emergency reserves, were available to fund participant benefits, Chuck declared in a floor speech before affirming he and other Dems would vote for Harley's bill. All right, so they're working on something here, guys. They're working on something. They're trying to work something out to give 42 million their EBT. I mean, again, people's not gonna be happy. I mean, you got those Spanish people, they want their sazon Goya and adobo for Thanksgiving, sofrito stuff. Then, suddenly, after USDA said it, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief ordered the Department of Agriculture to rip up the contingency plan, literally delete it from their website, he claimed, and told them not to use emergency funds. Once again, the emergency funds was meant for catastrophic event, hurricane, earthquake, floods, tornado, wildfire. Again, those stuff could hit us in the next, possibly, who knows. But we need those funds for worst case scenario. But you have the blue, they want to use that fund to feed millions. And those funds was not meant for that. All right, so it says here, no explanation, no justification, just plain cruelty from a man who only serves himself. The U.S. commander is picking politics over the lives of hungry young ones. The blue leader added, that's not true, Chuck. That's not true. You can't be doing that type of stuff, man. You're really deceiving people with that statement there. So he is weaponizing. No, he's not. Again, this is just absolute plain local. Uh, Again, stuff like that is what keep the sleeping giant divided. Again, you gotta speak well. All right. So again, this is what Chuck is saying. He is weaponizing hunger, turning millions of young ones, senior and veterans, into political pawns to score points in his shutdown fight. Chuck, you the one who shut it down. You shut it down yesterday, and you blaming Donald for it. You got to stop that, dude. There's a lot of people out there that don't know what's really going on, but those that know politics, they know what's really going on. The shutdown began after the Blue blocked a stopgap measures funding the Gov at current level until November 21st. Only 3 members of the caucus have supported that bill. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Catherine Cortez of Nevada, and Independent August King of Maine. I gotta give a lot of credit to Fetterman. He's really whoops. Hold on, give me a second. Advertisement alert. Advertisement alert. Fetterman has been trying to talk to Chuck and to the left, telling them, "Hey, we can't do this. We can't look. I'm a left, but we can't be doing this type of stuff." You know, again, we cannot just hold sleeping giant citizens hostage. On September 30th, the USDA released a lapse of funding plan that stated multi-year contingency funds are also available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year, but had taken the document off the website as of mid-October. A USDA spokesperson shared a fact sheet noting that contingency funding is designated for programs like Disaster SNAP, which provide food purchasing benefits for individuals in disaster area, including natural disasters like hurricanes, I just mentioned that, tornadoes and floods that can come on quickly without notice. Exactly. You can't take those funds, Chuck. You can't take those funds and just give it to the 42 million. That's our backup. It's like, Americans, if you have money in your savings, again, you have a plan for that. Just imagine someone else take that money for themselves to pay their bills. It says here, any money transfer from non-contingency funds will also affect the USDA's Young One Nutrition Programs, the National School Lunch Program, the School Breakfast Program, and the Young Ones in Adult Care Feeding Program. The fact sheet reads, now it says here, program like Women, Infants, and Young Ones, WIC, are also getting that money. A separate bill by Senator Ben, Democrat from New Mexico, with Chuck is pushing, will fully fund both SNAP and WIC. At least $23 billion has been set aside to keep nutrition program running during the Gov shutdown, according to the USDA. That's a lot of money. But the U.S. Command Administration has maintained its lacks the legal authority to tap into any extra contingency funding for regular monthly SNAP benefits, which Agricultural Secretary Brooke has said would amount to $9.2 billion just in November. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate, the USDA spokesperson said. Continue to hold out for the far left wing of the party or reopen the Gov so mothers, young ones, and the most vulnerable among us can receive timely WIC and SNAP benefits. People truly need it. People truly need it, but there's a lot of people out there that don't need it. Again, for those, look, guys, this, I know, again, I've seen a lot of people take advantage of it, but you are taking from the one that truly needs. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. There's people out there that's 19 years old, capable of working, and again, I've seen this one video, this one guy is like, he looks healthy. He looks great. He looked like someone that could lift like 100-pound box. And he's like, I'm not supposed to work. The American is supposed to take care of me and my young ones. I'm like, and he's not the only one. There's a lot out there. Man, if I had a construction company, I'd put him to work. Ooh, I'd put him to work. So we are approaching, and okay, I read that part. Asked by a reporter on Wednesday about the Harley bill, Thorne said scheduled votes for one-off bills on SNAP or other federal benefits begs the larger question: how long is this going to drag on? I think the quickest way to end it is to just open everything up, and then everybody gets paid. And you're not picking winners and losers or having to explain to this group why you open it up for this group. The right leader added. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. So the Blue have committed to the funding fight in hopes of gaining an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidized passed under former Joe. Though congressional rights leaders have maintained that will be addressed in a separate bill before the end of the year. But even some who previously stuck with their party in that effort are now breaking ranks. Representative Josh from New Jersey on Wednesday called for the Senate Blue to end the shutdown after voting against it for the 13th time, the stopgap bill in the House on September 19th, so long as the Obama care subsidized also received a vote. I think it's a very fair deal, Gothamer said on Fox. Now open the gov and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more, he added. I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, you have Senator Thorne has offered that. So we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. Open enrollment for care also kicks off November 1st. It makes a lot of sense. Yep. It's all about the Obamacare stuff too. We should do it for the sleeping giant citizens. In reality, they're doing it because of Obamacare stuff. Alright guys, so give me a second here. I want to play this video really quick and see what's going on with this one here. Whoops. Make it a little smaller so you guys have a better view. There we go. Let's see what's going on here.
Fifth week. If it's still shut down in 6 days, that will tie the record for the longest shutdown, which was 35 days during the first Trump administration back in 2018. And if the government is not reopened by the weekend, 42 million Americans will lose their federally funded food benefits. That's led 25 states and the District of Columbia to sue the Trump administration, claiming the law requires the government to tap into contingency funds to keep SNAP benefits going. President Donald Trump, he is pushing back. Here's what he said on Air Force One late last night.
The Democrats have caused the problem on food stamps. All they have to do is sign. And, if they sign, I'll meet with them. They do want to meet with me when I get back. But I say get the economy open and we'll meet. I'll meet and we'll solve any difficulties.
CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian joins us live now from Capitol Hill. Nicole, thank you for your time once again today. We understand Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is planning to introduce a bill today to fund SNAP. Is there any chance Republicans will actually support that bill?
Well, keep in mind that there is already a Republican bill out there that would do just that by Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. In fact, it has a Democratic co-sponsor as well, Vermont's Peter Welch. But this new bill that's being introduced on the part of Senate Democrats, not only by Leader Schumer, but also New Mexico Senator Ben Ray Lujan, would again extend funding for SNAP benefits. Now, Senate Democrats and Leader Schumer believe that this is something that would get a lot of bipartisan support, but Majority Leader John Thune has indicated that he doesn't necessarily want to do these singular piecemeal bills. The best way to reopen the government is to support this temporary short-term measure that would fund the government through most of November.
And Nicole, the Congressional Budget Office has released an estimate on the cost of the shutdown to the U.S. economy. What did the analysis show?
Well, interestingly, the Congressional Budget Office finds that obviously the economy could take a hit from this in the neighborhood of $7 to $14 billion, and that GDP could suffer by 1 or 2 percentage points in terms of what that means for federal spending. If the shutdown were to end this month, that means those federal expenditures would be about $33 billion lower. If the shutdown extends to 6 weeks, it would be $54 billion lower. And of course, if it goes all the way through late November, those federal expenditures could be $74 billion lower. So that's just the latest analysis, again, from the Congressional Budget Office. Whether it moves lawmakers to act here on Capitol Hill remains to be seen. As of now, there are no votes scheduled today on government funding.
Okay.
All right, so you do have the left and the right. They're trying to work something out, and hopefully things work out. I do believe that at the very last minute, they're gonna come to some certain agreement. And yeah, this is where we at right now, guys. I will keep you updated with this news. Once again, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you again for your support. I will keep you updated with all these news. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.